To mark the 200th anniversary of the founding of the town of Greece, the Greece Historical Society presents a Bicentennial Snapshot. Each week, we take a look at a particular aspect of Greece history. This week, we consider someone you should know, an important figure in the early history of Greece, Giles Holden, the first lighthouse keeper. Although born in Charleston, New Hampshire, circa 1788, Giles Holden grew up in Middlebury, Vermont. He was attending the University of Burlington in Vermont when the War of 1812 began. Holden enlisted. In fact, so many of his fellow students enlisted that the school had to be closed until the end of the war. After the war, he moved to Parenton to teach school. On March 9, 1817, he married Susan Bennett, who had been one of his students. The next month, they moved to Charlotte after Giles was appointed Deputy Collector and Surveyor of the port. They traveled by horseback, Susan riding behind her new husband. This description of Susan's reaction to her new home gives you an idea of what the area was like in that era. Quoting Susan, "I stood the journey very well until we reached the brow of Hopper Hill, Hopper Terrace today." Pointing ahead, Giles said, "Yonder lies Charlotte. I looked and seeing nothing but woods, dense woods, a feeling of lonesomeness came over me, and I burst into tears." They took up residence in a home Giles had built. In 1819, Giles purchased 100 acres of land adjoining the village on the west and farmed it. Although David Denman was first appointed to the position of lighthouse keeper, the elderly veteran was too ill to perform the duties of keeper, and subsequently he died in 1823. Giles Holden was the first person to actually serve as lighthouse keeper, taking office in 1823. He held that position until 1834. The keeper was provided with a 2-room dwelling, but that wasn't enough for the Holdens with their 10 children. Giles enlarged it with 2 additions. While Giles was keeper and the deputy collector of the port, the body of Sam Patch, America's first daredevil, was discovered on March 17, 1830, near the mouth of the Genesee River, where the Monroe County boat launch is today. It was 5 months after his unsuccessful leap of High Falls on Friday, November 13, 1829. Holden sent this message to the Rochester Daily Advertiser newspaper. Thursday morning, March 18, Sam Patch. We have received the following note from the Deputy Collector of the Port of Genesee, Charlotte, 17th March. The body of a man has been discovered in the river, which is supposed to be that of Sam Patch. Unequivocal marks lead to this conclusion. The black handkerchief around the waist and other known marks sufficiently indicate the identity of the body. I have sent for the coroner. G.H. Holden. In addition to his keeper duties, in 1827, Giles was elected Justice of the Peace in Greece. In 1832, he was elected Supervisor of Greece. Also in 1832, a cholera epidemic broke out in Rochester and the surrounding towns. In just 6 short weeks, the epidemic took almost 2,500 lives, or 1% of the population of the area. During the months of July and August, business and travel was almost entirely suspended. The seemingly vigorous in the morning were carried to their graves before night. Giles Holden was head of the Board of Health for Charlotte, and he closed the port and posted guards on Ridge Road to keep infected parties out of Greece. Because it was a political appointment, Holden lost the lightkeeper position when Andrew Jackson took office in 1835. Those 2 additions he put on the house, he took them, moving them across the street from the lighthouse. Local historian Jack Kemp wrote about Holden. In later life, Giles was addressed as Squire Holden, attesting to the esteem in which he was held by his contemporaries. Holden died in 1867, and he is buried in the Charlotte Cemetery. Check the Historical Society's website and Facebook page for postings about tours in the fall of the Charlotte Cemetery, where many of the first residents of the town of Greece are buried. Thanks for joining us this week. Next time, we introduce you to the Latta family. This is Maureen Whalen, inviting you to join us next Tuesday for another Bicentennial Snapshot, presented by the Greece Historical Society.
Want to learn more from the Greece Historical Society and Museum? Then click that subscribe button for more content and hit that bell icon to get notified when there's more Bicentennial Snapshots. You can visit us on the web at GreeceHistoricalSociety.org You can find us on Facebook at Greece Historical Society. You can follow us on Twitter at Greece NY History, and you can stop in at the Greece Historical Society at 595 Long Pond Road.